Hello, world.
Hello, hello, hello.
That's the wonderful Ms. Glam, and you got Mohazel, and we are just two badass besties. Episode 68. We're doing it.
In the 60s.
I know, we're doing it.
Season
Hopefully,
6? Oh
hopefully
my God.
our 10 fans love us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful.
That's what's up. Anything new? No?
These COVID times, the days run together. You know, you don't even leave the house for days on end sometimes.
Understood. But we have something fun to share. We did our besties.
We did.
I was trying to see how unforgettable. It was clearly unforgettable. No, it's fine. But so I'll let you, it was your idea. Tell us the premise and I'll just jump in.
I bought Adventure Challenge books and I have to be extra. I have originally got on there to buy the couples version because why not? And then I saw that they were having a sale for the bundle of buy all 3.
So I was free.
No, I paid for you. So
I need to know.
In the words of my niece, when it arrived, I was like, yay, look what arrived. And she saw it and she goes, so you just gonna torture everybody? I said, it's not torture. Yes, it's torture. So there's a friendship version one.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the first activity in the friendship book.
One of 2,000 activities,
It's not.
mind you.
I think it's like 24.
Oh, okay. That's not bad,
I think.
actually. Well, that's
I don't
all
know.
I'm going to do.
Whatever. So I think it's about 24 activities.
Okay.
The book is kind of broken up where it's like sections where it kind of tells you what you'll be doing. We picked the section that had something to do with food because we were hungry.
Yeah.
And it gives you little icons like, you know, if it's in your home, if it's, you know, driving, if
it
it's
requires
messy.
water.
Yes. How long approximately the activity will take you, whether or not it's going to cost you money. It gives you those hints. And then, but you don't know what it is till you scratch it off. Well, then we scratched it off and it said, fancy pants, you are going to have a bake-off. You are to pick a recipe, go get the ingredients, bake, and post your concoction on social media and let people decide who made the best dessert.
Yeah. That was fun.
I won.
See how she just breezes over everything else? I will say it was a fun activity.
I
did not want to bake, but I had fun.
I did too.
I had fun.
I haven't baked anything in years.
You know, I like baking. I just don't bake as often as I do.
I don't think I would have
like baking.
ever
I like baking
baked
over cooking.
Without that book, I don't think I would have ever baked with you.
Really? Yeah. You know, I probably would have never baked with you either. I love raw batter. That does something
she did.
to me.
She ate she licked my spoons.
But I didn't re-dip for the record, just for all the. But yeah, it was
I
great.
went to go rinse the spoons or the mixers, and she was like,
"Don't you do
what?
that?
What are you
Don't
doing?
waste that. Don't waste that. I'm the pre-wash.
Really?
Yes. What did you make?
I still don't know what the hell it was called. I mean, it was
German
funny.
chocolate.
It really wasn't German
brownie
though.
with caramel drizzle, cheesecake
Icing,
frosting, and
chocolate
white chocolate
chips
and chocolate
white,
chip
curls.
Shavings.
Yeah. But I don't know what.
In a fancy wine glass.
Yes. I think they called it like a brownie cheesecake parfait. Like, I think that's what it was called or something like that on the recipe.
The winner is what it's called.
It is called
the winner.
Yes.
It's called the winning dish.
So
mine was a s'more brownie pie.
So here's where Mohazel went wrong. Mohazel went wrong in
first
mine's going
of all, it
to
tastes
taste
good.
The best. The point is we were posting it on social media. They ain't tasting it. So it needed to look pretty.
But I
Not
wasn't
saying
expecting
mine
to take it
didn't
out the
taste
pan.
it.
She was like, I need you to plate it. That's where we went wrong. And I think I might have would have had a chance.
No, because you posted.
That was a janky cut. I cut it super janky because that marshmallow was sticking and
that's why you should have cooked it individually and
I mean, you know, listen, I was trying to do what the recipe says, you know, but it tasted great. Both actually did. So that's all that matters. But it was a fun activity.
It was.
I enjoyed it. Congratulations on winning. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was very pretty.
It was very pretty.
You know,
I don't know if I can
like to
accomplish
think you
that.
had assistance.
She did
But,
help with, put caramel
you know,
on
it was
the
a team
sides. Take the
effort.
spoon. But I helped you too.
You could help me plate it.
Well, I couldn't help you cut that.
But yes, it was a fun time. It was a fun bestie adventure for sure.
Yes, and it was funny because we both kind of picked brownie type.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were picking. We both ironically picked brownie.
Yeah.
Different. Yours is, of course, fancy. That makes total sense. Mine is janky.
It was very fancy.
But yet awesome.
So we had to go grocery shopping for our ingredients. We cooked this at Mohazel's house. So we looked and see what she had, like, okay, you got sugar, you got, butter, but we're going to need,
Eggs,
these extra things for our recipes.
Chip.
Here we are in Publix shopping. I am buying extra stuff, and I went to Party City because I bought the little plastic wine glasses.
As a wrap, when you're supposed to be going to buy ingredients at a grocery store, and she's like, I gotta stop at Party City. What party we throwing? I get it. She was trying to be fancy, and it showed. It was great. Your money. It was great.
I won.
You did.
And I had to get the pipette, little plastic thing, so I can make sure my icing was
extra.
No, it was all about presentation.
Yeah. She won, you guys.
I did.
Although I would like to think some of those votes that said both, I don't know. I should have forced them to say.
Me.
I don't know. We don't know. If they say both, then it means I had a chance.
The details matter. And then we did have a couple of people taste it. And I was able to bring them individual cups
She
for them.
She sabotaged me there, too.
And was like,
some
kids,
kids tasted my concoction. And then I gave specific instructions on how to eat mine. It was never delivered, but I made sure yours was delivered properly.
Really? I didn't deliver any instructions for mine either. It was, all right,
because it was ready to go. I had yours chilled.
No. Yes. I had just made mine.
Yes. Remember,
you did.
I put all the ingredients in the fridge.
I reheated it.
Not the frostings. Not what needed to be reheated. That cheesecake was not. And that cheesecake needed to be cold.
Yeah, it was kind of because I reheated the brownies and the cheesecake kind of melted on top of the brownies.
I mean, that's your fault for not delivering in its purest best state. I put yours on the cardboard and made sure that air was hitting it just right so it stayed cold. Really? I'm telling you, I did.
So you take credit for my win?
I got to get in there. When you're a sore loser, okay? When you're a sore loser, you will find any way to be like, but see, if I didn't do this over here, you wouldn't have won. That's just how I was raised. I'm competitive and, clearly I'm bitter. That's all. Let me drink my bitter tea over here.
It may have went differently if they had a taste thing. Sure. But, when it came to who's the fanciest, you knew I was going to win. It was something that we would normally never do.
Well, I told you specifically I wanted to do something physically fit. And here I am eating sweets in the kitchen. But I mean, it was fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun from the grocery shopping and having, the public store associates help us find things and being like, what you making?
Yeah.
It was fun.
They made me think I had a chance too.
They really did.
Ooh, yeah. I was like, yeah. And then
I did get worried in public because I was like, well, dang, maybe hers fancier than mine.
And that's when she was like, I'm going to Party City. I did we shouldn't have talked to those sales associates. I might have had a chance because I was just like, I'm literally only going to spend $8. Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, this activity described us to a T. You are fancier than me. You are extra. You went a little extra. You don't mind spending, and it was money well spent. Very well so. On high quality products. I was trying to be cheap. I was trying to see what already I had at the house. I relied on just everybody's gonna love it. I just relied on certain things, and I went the way I went, but it kind of described us. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like my slice was not perfect, but it tasted awesome. Yours was lovely design and rich in taste. So it did the thing. It brought out the best in both of us.
Because if I look at what I spent, I think I spent $17, almost $20 on the presentation stuff
to make it extra pretty. Yeah.
With the glasses and the pipette stuff.
The swirls were not a part of the.
No.
Yeah, those were fancy swirls. I almost wanted to steal some of them swirls and just be like.
You did steal some of my caramel.
I know the chocolate drizzle.
Oh, the chocolate drizzle is what you stole.
I did. I freelanced and tried to make it fancy. I was like, that's what happens in our friendship. I see her over there stunting. I'm like, well, I can stunt too. And I was just like, that's what I do. I was just like, I can be cute too. It was fun. It was. All right.
And then, our people got to benefit from it because they got a dessert. And it was
I
a hand-delivered dessert.
Yeah. Now, that was the other thing. I was like, what am I doing? So I didn't do anything physical. I'm over here making desserts. I didn't want to do that, but it was fun. Yes. And then I'm over here doing community service, delivering food
at
to the
9
needy.
o'clock at night.
Because when I tell you, my fam bam ate my stuff up, like right then and there, like it was great. You know what I mean? And so I felt like, oh, I'm special delivery to the needy. and really, they're not needy, but they were needing that dessert at that moment. Whatever was going on in life, that dessert gave them each life. I feel like we made their day brighter.
Yes.
So that's what I mean by needy delivery.
My nephews were excited.
Aww.
Chocolate sweets before dinner.
Right? And they got away with that.
Yes.
The parents were like, just go ahead, eat it.
Well,
it's Auntie Ms.Glam.
I gave them the cup. That's another reason why I couldn't give them a slice of yours. Because yours would have been messy.
I'm going to be honest.
I gave them their own individual cup.
I can't speak for your sissy pie diva, but both sets of parents, they weren't going to share that. I think if they had it their way, they weren't going to share it. Them cups made sense because it's like you have to account for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one per person. But I think, honestly, if yours was not a cup, they wouldn't have shared those either.
Probably not. Because it would have been messy.
Yeah.
With the cup, it was less messy.
Yeah, quote, quote, messy. Sure.
It was.
Kids don't ever eat anything messy. Nah, bruh. That's an adult dessert. They wanted it for themselves. They did not want to share. Kids, go get ice cream. This is mommy and daddy time. That's what that was about.
Well.
But it was fun.
Yes, it was.
Are you ready to get into the weekly delight?
Your time with me, weekly delight.
Nah, if I won, it would have been my weekly delight. You saying you ain't got a weekly delight over there? What's going on?
No, I have one.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right, weekly delight. So we take a person, place, a thing. Inspirational quote. It can be winning brownie cupcakes. It could be mimosas. It could be books. It can be music. It can be anything we like. It's just something that is getting us pumped and getting us through the week to get to Friday. And with that being said, Ms. Glam, you are up first.
My weekly delight this week was not you. It was date night with Bae.
It's okay.
He cooked for me.
Aww.
He always cooks for me, but it was a special date night.
So what made this special?
Like, it wasn't a planned date night. Actually, we were just hanging out it was supposed to be a do nothing day.
Okay.
But he was, you know what? I'm going to go get in the shower. I'm going to go get dressed. I was not dressed up, but he didn't get dressed up, but more than normal. He went a little mile.
He went the extra mile.
We were going to go out and eat, and we did go out, but I wasn't waiting 45 minutes for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
When we got there, he was like, we can wait, or I can cook. So it turned into, you can cook. So we went grocery shopping to get basically what I would have ordered at the restaurant and what he would have ordered. And then we went home and he cooked and we just talked. And it was lovely.
That's awesome.
It was lovely.
That's awesome. Did it feel special and different?
It did.
How so? You know it's so funny? Y'all can't see me, but I'm like throwing my hands like and no.
You didn't say and why. You just said did it. I answered your question. Again, it did.
I guess it was a one-word answer.
Here's why.
Most people elaborate, but it's okay.
That's not what you asked me. Well, like I said,
no, and why?
He got dressed up. It wasn't meant to be a date night. And it was clear that he was trying to do whatever I wanted to do that night. And obviously I had to eat. But even when he was cooking, it was just conversation. You know how when you go on a date and you're asking questions and just doing that date, like the different date night type of thing versus the regular conversations of, oh, by the way, this happened and the work is this. It was more romantic.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm glad you had a very romantic, spontaneous day.
Yes.
Boom. Well, my weekly delight is Lovecraft Country, the series on HBO Max. That's got Journey Smollett Bell, and it's got Courtney B. Vance, and this guy, I have not seen him on any show before, Jonathan Majors, but the cast is phenomenal on top of everybody else that's in the show. Each show...
Who introduced you to this show?
You did. Well, you know what, in all fairness, not really. You're not going to take the credit.
No.
You forced me to watch it. But I was gonna watch it anyway. Like, I'm serious. We always said we wanted to do it, but there are a lot of shows that we say we're gonna watch, and then we just never have the time. But then when you were watching it and saying how awesome it was, I was like, of course, yeah. Let's try to get it in. I mean, clearly we have someone who's watching it, and it makes it official. But we were gonna watch it eventually, darling.
No.
I like Journey
Give me
Smollett.
my credit.
No. You won. You can't win everything.
Yes, I can.
No, not today. But anyways, Lovecraft
Country. Do you watch
Country.
this with tech support?
I do.
And so it's a couple show. Because, like, you have some shows that are yours.
I could have watched it without him. He just wanted to watch it.
So it's a couple show. And the only reason I asked is it's a couple show for me, too.
Yeah, I mean, couples can watch it. It does bring up conversation. I'll give you that. I could have watched it by myself. But, yeah, we watched it. Yeah. I could have watched Misfits by myself if it makes you feel better.
You did watch it by yourself
But
first.
then I watched it with him, too. And it was fine either way.
Yeah, well... That's because he wanted to steal my glory.
I mean...
I took too long to watch it.
See? But clearly I'm taking too long to watch this because as I'm watching it, I am not through with the series. It's one of those you have to pay attention to.
Oh, my God.
You have to catch it at... you cannot be sleepy because you're going to miss a bunch. And it's so jam-packed. And to me, it's kind of like Misfits. It's a lot of different genres rolled into one. And I am finding myself to be a big fan of shows that mix it up from sci-fi to romance to just adventure.
It's really good.
It's a period piece.
Yes. Mystery.
It's so many different components to it. And I think it was really brilliantly written. And I think each episode felt like its own little miniseries.
Yes, but like each episode, you have more questions.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like thought-provoking, really thought-provoking.
Yes. And like I said, it's a timepiece. So what we said, it was in the 50s, 60s? 40s,
yeah, but sometimes
50s?
It goes back to the 40s.
Doesn't it feel? Yeah. I thought it was in the 40s, and I think when we last talked, you said, no, it could be in the 50s. So it feels back and forth.
Yeah.
Between the 40s and 50s, it's very with the times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll definitely, as you're watching it, you'll get the feel for what period it's in. Yeah, it starts out as this sci-fi because, you instantly, matter of fact, from the first episode, you're thrown into the sci-fi.
And
then he wakes up.
And you're confused, because when I first watched it, I'm like, wait, do I really want to watch this?
And then it goes back to normal life.
Yes.
And then you're kind of thrown in with some sci-fi again. And I'm trying not to ruin it for people, but it's definitely, and then it keeps changing and changing. Yes. I felt like it was a little bit of horror. Horror was a genre too.
Yes.
It was so many different things, but I think you'll definitely be happy with the acting. I think you'll be happy with the costumes and just
and it's so
the dialogue.
It's so intelligently written.
Everything. The music was phenomenally done. I can't continue to rave enough about it. I feel like if they don't get nominated for things, whether it's Golden Globes, it was award-winning, in my opinion. And
it's really good.
Jordan Peele needs to continue. You ready to get into this topic?
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. Are you patting your boobs?
Why would I pat my boobs?
Well, it's for your good. Do you check once a month to see if you have any lumps or bumps or...
I'll be honest, I don't.
That's all right. But you get screened.
I do I was screened for the first time last year.
Okay, well, hold that thought. We're going to ask that, okay? You stumbled upon an article that was in Essence that was about Ananda Lewis. And for all the kiddos out there, Ananda Lewis was like a VJ.
That's where I know her from.
Oh, are you kidding me? But anyways, if you're a 90s baby, you know her.
She looked familiar.
Yes, that's her. So she was a video VJ. Now, obviously, I don't even think there's such things as video DJs anymore, right? I don't know of. I don't think
they're the same thing like MTV used to have. I don't think they do those anymore.
BET had them. But anyway, she was that type of personality. That's what she did. Current day, Ananda Lewis revealed in an article with Essence that she had stage 3 breast cancer. In the article, she expresses her regrets about not getting a mammogram sooner than she did. She was diagnosed at 47, which was 2 years ago, with having stage 3 cancer. And the article goes on to quote her. She said, "I watched my mom get mammograms for almost 30 years, and at the end of that, she had breast cancer." And I said, huh? Radiation exposure for years equals breast cancer. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. Thanks anyway. And those statements have come back to haunt her in her feeling of she wished she would have gotten it sooner. But pretty much what she was talking about is when you get your mammograms, the dose of radiation, they are small, but it is a possible risk. But according to American Cancer Society, the risks for harm are super minimal.
Yeah, and in the article, she said the amount of radiation she had to subject her body to for treatment was way
Completely
more.
different. Completely
so,
different.
In her avoidance of getting mammograms, she then subjected herself to more exposure, is what she was saying.
The immediate thing that I got from this is, as women, we do need to talk about it amongst each other, and we need to educate each other on something and talk about those experiences, because Ananda appeared to have made her thought process based on one person's experience. Granted, that's a very important person's experience, but when you talking to your moms, your aunts, your family, your friends, your coworkers, talking about it, everybody's experience on how they've been touched by it in some way or fashion is going to be different. And I think all those collective thoughts can help formulate a better inform you on what to do. So with that being said, let's talk about, and we'll each go into it. So you're about to allude to your first experience. So how old were you? What was it like? And did you decide to do this on your own, or what made you come to the conclusion, I need to go get a mammogram?
So I was 36 when I got my first one. So what made me get one, it was a combination of you and my sister. I've known you as long as you've been getting yours. Yeah. But the rule in my head is 40.
Yes.
40.
That
40.
is the normal age, by the way, to get these screenings.
For insurance purposes.
Sure.
The normal is 40, but the exception is if you have a family history, you're supposed to get it 10 years prior to when that person was diagnosed. Yep. And I knew that rule because you taught me that rule. Where I went wrong is I didn't ask questions of my family on both sides if they had it. Or ever been diagnosed with it. I mean, I knew the history of my mom because, the
immediates.
Yes. And I knew my mom's mom, mainly because I was, with them primarily. Yeah. I did not know about my dad's mom. I knew about her sister, but that's not a direct link. It has to be, like grandparents. It can't be like great aunts. Yeah. I didn't know that my dad's mom was diagnosed in her 30s. I didn't know that. And I didn't think to ask the question. And I think I was talking about it with him and he brought it up and he's like, how did you not know? 'Cause no one told me. I didn't think to ask the question. That's where I went wrong and where I will try to be better with my niece of educating her medical history. Yes. Because sometimes it's like, you don't want to necessarily pry, but
it's important.
It is.
Affects, I think, and you hit that on the head. The family history is so vital. Sometimes people don't want to share it because they don't want to burden others or it's their personal journey. It's too personal. But their journey affects you if they're your family. Yeah. Because there's a linkage, because there are so many things that are so genetically linked, and this is one of those things, but so many other diagnoses that are genetically linked. And so it's important not to be nosy, not to reveal family secrets, but to save another person's life. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so you go get screened. Yes. What was that experience like?
You've shared your experience of how it was, so I knew what to expect.
2 totally different experiences. It
wasn't. I thought it was going to hurt a lot more than it did.
Spiritually, did it break you? Huh? Spiritually, did it break you? I'm just joking.
But, because you described like the machine, it was cold, but they've done a little bit better about, warming them up.
It's a lot better now. Yeah.
It was a quick experience. And actually, like, you get your own little dressing room. They give you a little pink robe. They
try to make it.
They do. They give you,
You feel like you're at the spa until you go in that room.
Because they give you, like, wipes, because you got to wipe off the deodorant. Mm-hmm. Then they give you a packet of deodorant. Yep. They give you they ask if you want perfume. They do. They try to make it feel like spa-like. And don't get me wrong, the technician was lovely, but she would make comments like, you're dense. What does that mean? Is it bad? Like, so when they were making comments, I'm not as educated on what I should and shouldn't be. So
you're educated in tones.
Yes.
You're like, that tone doesn't sound right. What does this mean?
And so she was just like, no, you're young. I wish I was young. I'm like, okay, so that's a good thing, right? Yes, it's fine. So it wasn't a bad experience. It was just, I was on pins and needles, not knowing what to expect. So any little comment kind of set me off. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it bad? Type of thing.
Sure.
And then the results process. Mm-hmm. So they mailed me the results.
Yes.
And in my head, I went, well, if they're mailing me the results, then the results must be good. Mm-hmm. But, but there were terms in there that I'm like, I don't know what this means. I mean, at the end of the day, it said all clear or you're fine or whatever.
See you next year.
Yeah. But it was like, no one's going to call me. The only thing now is when they did call me to find out if I got my results, I panicked a little bit. Like, did you find something? Like, why are you calling me? Like, if they had always called and just said, here's your results, I mean, I probably would have freaked out then too. But now, if they were to call me, I'm going to freak out because last time I just got something in the mail. So a call will equate in my head bad news.
Got it.
But, that makes sense?
No, it does. I'm so used to the calls now, girl, that...
Well,
so I hear you, and that's why I'm not responding in that sense, because that is a part of the experience, especially when it's your first time. There's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of, you can tell that they're trying to make the experience as pleasant as possible. And then there's panic. And then sometimes there's even scared moments because you're waiting on these results, because it's just like, all right, bye. And you're like, I don't know right then and there what's going on. No, you can't tell me. No, I got to wait. Okay. You know what I mean? It's so many different emotions and it's all different depending on the person's experience.
Yeah.
I will say, I think yours was a little bit more pleasant than mine, but before I get into my part of it, I will say, while I'm silent on it for you and respect that journey, I understand everything you're saying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it makes total sense to me what you're saying. When my mom got diagnosed and I was 14 years old, I was so in a panic then for her, and she was 33 when she got diagnosed. I thought I was going to lose my mom, and then when I learned how great it is for early detection, and she was in the early stages, and how it's just a part of a process, don't get me wrong, it still put me in sad moments. Like, I always remember her having her surgeries or her procedures done around Christmas. So for a while, I just didn't like the holiday because it seemed like every year back to back, it was surgery or reconstruction or surgery, something it related to that. So it's like, I don't even look forward to Christmas because I know it's coming out right after Christmas. She's, scheduled for a procedure. But she made it a point to always have me aware of the process, and I was right there side by side. She did not shield me from it. I saw all of it. It didn't seem foreign to me to do my research just like her in finding out the history of all the cancers, and especially the breast cancers that happened in my family and on both sides. And it was very scary because it was a lot. It was a lot. I had a lot of family members that had breast cancer. A lot of family had lung cancer. I do remember her doctor saying when I was young, breast cancer can sometimes skip a generation. I still remember that. You don't tell a 14-year-old that they're children and they're not even old enough to be thinking of children. But now I'm thinking, I don't want kids because they're going to get cancer. Like, it scared me. So I just always wanted to be informed. So 10 years younger is me at 23. I go get my mammogram and I am very well prepared to get my boobs smushed. My mind is set. Let's just do it. It's going to be a part of the routine. Let's go. The spa treatment was in play, the whole, you have your own locker and, lovely pink robe and, the little, and I'm just sitting. And I'm in this room with older ladies, all of them older than 40 or at least 40. No problem. No shame in that. But I got next. No, my name didn't get called. Another name gets called. Another name gets called. Then I get called in. We're trying to understand, how old are you? Why are you getting it done? I'm like, listen, my insurance is going to cover it. My mom is 10 years younger than diagnosed. Call my doctor. Like, I'm supposed to be here. Okay. Literally, I think I was in there for 2 hours. I might be dramatizing a bit, but it was definitely more than an hour. And I feel like it was more like maybe an hour and a half to 2. But I waited in there for so long for them to then be like, okay, we'll do it. My thoughts are racing. What does this mean? What's going on? I'm panicked. And nobody came to explain things to me. They just kept asking why. So I go in there, it's cold. It's just the hypeness in my head of let's do it. I'm protecting my boobies. I'm saving my children that are not here yet. And I'm making my mom proud and my family proud. And it just got deflated. And that emotion triggered into it feeling like a cold, isolated experience on top of the blades were cold. So it felt very much, the emotions played into how I was feeling. And it seemed like, okay, next year we will make sure this is all good. And every year in my 20s, or at least for the next 3 to 4 years, I brought my mom one time, I brought you one time, and it didn't matter if I brought people with me or what. It was always something because they just didn't want to give me my screenings, even though I was insured and did my homework and got my history done. And I finally, my doctor that does the prescriptions, I've been with her since I was in my 20s, and I don't know what I'll do when she retires. Like, I am not prepared for that. But, they finally had a screening facility in there on site, and I went there. But I mean, there were times where I get angry. I'm like, I associated mammograms with whose ass I'm going to whoop today if they don't give me my mammogram. Yeah. True fact. I'm like, who I got to get scrappy with.
I remember you would dread your appointment time.
Yeah. So times have changed. Now it's great. They're very cautious with me, the facility that I go to now, and they'll be even over cautious with me. I've done MRIs, I've done sonograms. I have not gone as far as a biopsy, so that's, I guess, a good thing. But I'm not scared of that either. I don't want a needle in my titty, but I will take a needle in my titty if it saves my life.
I understand.
So now let me ask you, you got it done. Are you grateful in hindsight that you didn't wait till 40?
Yeah, because now I know. And honestly, I need to schedule my appointment. But like, I'm due again for this year. And I'll get it every year until,
Yeah, that could save your life and you never get diagnosed. Like, it's just one more doctor's visit is what I'm saying.
And I mean, like, I'll be like, even though I didn't get the mammogram until last year, before that, when you have your woman's exam, they do the self.
They check.
They do that. And I've always had that since 15, 16, however long,
Sure.
But I didn't get the mammogram till last year because I didn't know I was eligible to get it.
Right.
So, and it wasn't until my doctor was like, did you ask the question? I'm like, no one has it. Did you ask? No, you need to ask.
Yeah.
I don't think I even asked. I think it ended up coming up. And I went, well, damn, I should have asked.
Yeah. I think the experience teach me how to advocate for myself a little bit better. To fight for it and not just assume the doctors are right. And not saying the doctors, but not assume that the facilities are right in what they say to you. You have to really push for things that when it comes to your health. I don't know if breast cancer has touched you, but because so many family members have had it, gone through it, and then I try to make a conscious effort of supporting organizations like the American Cancer Society, that when they raise funds, it's to help women who can't really afford to do their treatments, and it helps with research. And they have groups like Power of the Purse where they raise funds. It's a grassroots company that raises funds to go to Capitol Hill and fight for women's rights on certain technologies. And I try to always go to symposiums and just educate myself more on it. And just I'm really grateful you let me do this topic today, or let us do this topic today, really, because it's you know how near and dear it is to my heart. And
because I think this is the first. Usually you do a walk.
I do a walk every year, but I couldn't because with COVID. Yeah.
So this is the first year in how long?
I know I was celebrating year 7 of me having my own team, and the people on your team raise money for this cause. Not just me doing a donation, but it's like me doing a donation, and anybody who's walking with me, we're donating to this great cause, American Cancer Society. But I want to say it might have been at least 10 years, because I think I've been doing it 3 years before that. And, it's so funny. So how I got started with that, with American Cancer Society, is my mom was walking for a young lady that got diagnosed. One of her coworkers got diagnosed at age 27. 27, had a couple kids, and left this world with those babies. And so I thought, well, yeah, let's march for her. And on her honor, the group was called Megan's Butterflies. And then I was sitting at this brunch, because I always go to the Survivor. I'm always my mom's guest at the Survivor luncheon, and I love those things. I live for those things, because it's an awesome feeling to watch all these survivors talk and be in a good space and give hope to the cause. And this one young lady spoke. They always have a survivor speak, and she was like, you can make a team. You don't realize how important you are. And she's just talking to the audience. She's not talking especially to me. You can be a leader and advocate for others, and you don't realize the impact you can have. So be a leader. It touched me, and I was like, yes, I can make a team. And I did that year, and I surprised myself on how much we raised. It wasn't a grand number. I think we raised $1,000, but we raised more money than Megan's Butterflies. And I did this team in honor of my mom. I was like, why do I have to wait till a person passed away to honor them? Kind of like how we were talking about in the past, give them their flowers while they're alive. I did that for my mom, and thank you for joining the team. I know you couldn't do it every time, but thank you for even being on my team at times. But that whole set into, motion of me starting a team. And I think over the years, I raised close to $9,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is more than just the normal $25 that I was doing. And I wanted to tell her the next year, thank you because it's the same usual suspects at thank you. Because of you, I started a team, and I raised like a little over $1,000. This is great. And I was the top 20 teams out of 100 and some teams. She wasn't there the next year. She passed away. I guess it came back with a vengeance, and she didn't make it. And from then on, it just solidified. I will always try to do something for women in that way. That will always be a cause for me. So I don't know if you had a story that touched you, but you have family members that had breast cancer. Like, what was their journey like with the breast cancer, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, I learned that my grandmother got diagnosed. I wasn't aware. And I guess by the time she went in remission and beat it, I don't think I was born back then. I never knew. I knew my aunt, my great aunt, her sister had it, but that's because she had one of her breasts removed, and she always had that bra that
that has the fake boob in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm aware of those.
I remember growing up, she would always take it off. So I think that's part would have got the question, because when people would ask, I was like, well, my great aunt, but they would go, oh, that don't count, because it has to be that immediate, mother, father, grandmother, like that immediate chain.
Yeah.
And I only knew because growing up, it was like she'd take the bra off, and then I would be confused, like, wait, ain't you supposed to have two? So I just remembered that. And then she explained why she only had one. So I was like, oh, so I remember that, but I never knew about my granny until I was in my 30s. I really wasn't part of the journey of when people got diagnosed.
But knowing this now about your grandmother, your granny, does it motivate you more to get your mammograms?
I mean, I know that, now I know there's a family history, and I know that, not saying that's the only reason why. My grandmother, my mother, my aunt, they all get their mammograms, but they're over 40. So I knew when I hit 40, I would have to go. I just didn't know it was important for me to go now.
Sooner. Yeah. And so a stat with American Cancer Society in regard to that. 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will get diagnosed with breast cancer, according to American Cancer Society. In regard to what you were saying, women and men with a family history of breast cancer, especially in the first degree relation, are at increased risk for the disease. Going back to what you were saying, the importance of just knowing that family history, it truly can save your life, especially when it comes to breast cancer. And men, you are not disqualified from this. I don't think we hear that story enough. That's what I would love to hear more of. Men, I do, you know what I am proud of? And I know you probably see this too. When it's breast cancer month, I do enjoy seeing men wearing pink. Mm-hmm. I do get a high out of seeing men walk with women. I do love that men take this seriously. I see men do their own fundraisers. Real Men Wear Pink campaigns are really rampant in the American Cancer Society community. But I really love that men are not taking this as a joke and they're super supportive of the cause. I just don't think there's enough men that come out, and at least in my experience. So if you are out there and you do, own up that you've had breast cancer, shout it to the rooftops, because I think that's the one thing. I think women are starting to get on board, and we are having these conversations. Like, look at you. You're like, I learned about my granny. That was one. You're hearing from your sissy, her understanding of breast cancer and how it's touched her world. Same with mine. And all that accumulated, and even like the knowledge that mammograms are how you screen. All those things cultivated you going. And so I think as women, we're starting to open more. It needs to be more conversations, especially in the family dynamic. Men, my hope is that there's more conversations for them, because they're not as highly affected, but they can. They are not immune to it. It is not just women have breasts. Men have breasts too. They have breast tissue. Ours are just plumpier, juicier, and appealing to the eyes. And the other thing too, and I want to talk to you real quick and then we can kind of close if you want. Breast cancer, I think it's so underrated on how it can affect you as a woman. Like, okay, like how you were saying that your relative, she would take off her bra and the boob is in the bra still. The vanity of when you're diagnosed and you have to get these taken off. And while it's not the essence of this is what make me pretty, it's what makes you a woman. And to have that taken, because you can't just and magically the boobs are back. No, you have to go through a process of those things are off, and you have to decide if you're going to do reconstructive surgery. And then it's like a set of procedures. You get the boob, you got to get the nipple, and then you got to get it tattooed. I mean, it's like a process. But in the midst of that, women are feeling all kinds of, I'm not beautiful. And I think the reason why it needs to be taught, or you lose your hair. But how would you feel if you lost your hair? Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And how would you feel if, you can fit into your shirt all, and you can wear that 2-piece, and then you don't want to wear a 2-piece no more.
I remember when, remember Angela Jolie?
Angelina Jolie. Yep.
Because she was going to remove hers as a precaution.
Yes.
And I remember that was a big thing in the news.
It was a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was just like, I'd rather not deal with it.
Let's just take that. She apparently wanted to be precautious of, I don't want this cancer. I don't want the potential of it. So let's lose the tissue that could get it.
Yes.
And start all over. There's a bravery to that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think at one point that was a discussion for me. Let's just chop them off and start all over. It's scary, but that's a real decision to make, especially if you have a high family history. I couldn't do that, but I applaud her choice and bravery in one, talking about it and actually doing it. I respect that journey for her. I don't know if I can do that. I'm kind of like, let's screen and just pray, and we'll deal with it when it comes, because hopefully it's early detection. You know what I mean? And I just try to stay on top of it. That's my... they also have things like the BRCA test, which my mother took. And so the BRCA test is a testing you can take to kind of see if you're genetically connected to it. Do you hold the gene of possibly getting it? And mothers can take it, and they can let you know if the gene is taken. And the reason why I had to do that, my insurance was like, and I'm not going to bash that insurance, but please know your insurance because insurance is tricky. They wouldn't let me take it, even though I had the high family history, to see if I was genetically connected, because they said, I have to have the cancer first. Why am I taking the test?
Exactly.
And I could never get that broken down. I went around with insurance, my doctor, everybody to try to figure out if I have it, I don't need it. It's it's kind of let me know how aggressive I need to be to catch it early. And so we learned that, my mom can take it, which of course she had the cancer, but we can let me know if it's a genetic marker.
And then if she tests it and it is, then you're allowed to take it.
Right. And because it wasn't, she tested that it wasn't a genetic marker, so therefore I don't need to get it. But my doctors are very cautious because of the history, and I will continue to. I did it for that because of my mom, because that's the first time that I really saw my face cancer happen. So the gears were turning, but it opened doors for me to ask about everything. And if I hear something, I mean, it can be cousins. What you got? How long? And I do have a few family members that are very quiet about and I have to respect it, but I wish they'd be a little bit open for the family, but I respect it. So any final thoughts? I 100% appreciate you finding this. I appreciate Ananda Lewis for talking about that and speaking her truth, but I appreciate you for finding the article.
You're welcome.
Any final thoughts before we move on?
Go get screened.
Go touch your boobies. Love your boobies and fight for your boobies. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
She means scientifically.
Yes. Yes. Time out, fellas. While I want your woman
how to screen for her.
You know what I'm saying? Get involved. Get familiar with her boobies and feel for them lumps and bumps. Don't just caress it. I mean, I need you to take your two fingers. Take your two fingers, your index and your middle finger, and you just, press kind of hard, but you're doing the circles, and you keep going around, outer circle, and you keep making circles until you get to the middle. I need you to, don't be just, rubbing like how you normally feel all crazy. You hear that? But I need you to take your two fingers and just, but really, just don't take it for granted.
You should really know, so if you feel the difference.
Yeah, and have those conversations with your family. That'll be my last thought. And have those conversations with your family. An awkward conversation, but it's a good one. And write it down so people don't have to repeat themselves, nor do you. Make it to where it feels like it's a comfortable conversation for all. Like, if you're the one that got the information, pass it on to your cousins and your sisters and your brothers and whoever, so that way they know and they can know if they need to get checked or screened for any cancers, any diseases. All right, Ms. Glam, we ready to go to Petty Word of the Day?
We are.
All right, so Petty Word of the Day. So we take a pretty word out the dictionary and we learn it, absorb it, and we apply it to sentences so we can teach you, 1, how to be pettier, but 2, to learn a word of the day.
Yes.
That's our contribution to society. It's really not. But anyways, Ms. Glam, with that being said, the floor is yours.
Okay. I did a tongue twister today. So let's see if I can say this word.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
See, I learned how to say this word and you confusing me. So, my word is episciopetic. Episciopetic. It's an adjective. It means the leaving of a thought incomplete, usually by sudden break off. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
My sentence is a jab at you.
Okay.
But it's true.
Okay.
Sometimes Mohazel will have a simpleton moment that will have me having an episciopetic moment.
I'll let you have that. Because I know deep down I'm smart.
You're a smart simpleton.
I'm smart with sprinkles of ditzy. All right, if you're gonna say it right, okay? We may not know how to describe your cupcake, but I know how to describe me.
Some of the things that come out of this child's mouth. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm a funny girl.
Oh my God. She keeps us entertained.
That's what I'm here for. So my word, cacunate. Excuse me. Caconate.
Cock you?
No.
Is it cock?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
What are you saying?
Cacunate.
Cock you what?
Fuck you. My word is a verb. It means to laugh loudly or...
That's about me.
It is. My sentence, I am pretty sure we are aggravating our fans' eardrums when we cacunate on air.
That sounds so dirty.
You said I say funny things, so there you go.
Sounds so dirty.
And I feel like I totally butchered that word, so Google it, you guys. Google it. She messed me up with the cockulate.
So dirty. So dirty.
But it's true.
I guess it's no dirtier than bae.
You know, but girl, if the word of the century is bae. So that's our show, guys. Is there anything left to say?
Until next time.
And touch your titties. And we are out.